Ladies and gentlemen, the long-awaited, highly anticipated Pinch Me. I'm in the midst of a professional. He's a new friend to Wales Certified. Is Ben Vessa, ladies and gentlemen, from Metro St. Louis. And he's Wales Certified from the get-go. Did I get the name right, Ben?
Vessa, no T there.
Man, I need auditions. I need a rehearsal, man, baby. Wow. Well, I could go with this and that, and it would be like a crochet type of thing, where you, if I ask you, you'll be able to put it out there nice and easy in a manner, because I really admire your work. You're with the written word and take pictures and this and that, and it's really off the charts. And
Thank you.
Yeah, and you're a pleasant guy to talk to. So, can you tell us all who's Ben Vessa?
Yeah, well, I tell you where this kind of started, I guess. When I was, when I was a kid, my parents used to get the newspaper sent to the house, and I would always turn to the sports section. You know, the first few pages were always about people's mistakes, and the sports section was about people's achievements. And that's kind of where I lived when I was a kid. You know, they'd always watch the 6 o'clock news. We had a pretty small house, so I kind of was stuck in the same room with them most of the time. And, you know, the first 15 minutes are about people's mistakes, and minutes 18 through 21, when the sports section would come on, or the sports report, that's what I paid attention to. And so I always had an appreciation for high school sports, especially. I played a few when I was a kid. I played basketball and baseball, and I thought I was pretty good at those times. But I went to college, and I had these thoughts about walking on the basketball team. And I went to the first where they were playing kind of an open gym, and I saw these reverse dunks and these blocks of dunks and everything, and I was like, this is not a game that I'm familiar with. And that's when I kind of knew my playing days were over. So I got into the writing about it business, and I was the sports editor of my college newspaper, and I got to do some broadcasting. But one of the summers that I was during the college years, I worked a summer camp in New York, and I just got an appreciation for coaching. I got to coach basketball and baseball at this summer camp. I got an appreciation for working with young kids, and I went back to school and got certified to teach English. Not Wales certified, unfortunately, but certified to teach English. And I know that you have a love of the English language. You've quoted Shakespeare to me before, so I think I would have enjoyed having you in my class for sure. But I got to coach a little bit for those 20 years, and but around years 20, 21 of teaching, I got this bug to get back into writing, and I contacted the local newspaper. This was in Indiana, and I said, hey, if you need someone to write some stories, let me know. And they told me, we kind of like basketball here in Indiana, so we'll send you around to some high school basketball games. And I really enjoyed it. So when we moved here to St. Louis in 2018, I contacted the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, and great guys, Chris Gove and Steve Overby, contacted me and asked me if I wanted to be what they called a stringer, which they would send me to different places. They would send me at first to some strange places, like I don't know about strange, but the off the beaten path. I covered the Illinois bowling state championships. I covered. I wrote a couple high school racquetball stories, and I just got an appreciation for every sport, really. They call them beats, and my beats were really lacrosse, wrestling, and field hockey. And I did cover some soccer and some basketball and football here and there. But as you know, the state of the newspaper business is rough these days, and the Post-Dispatch made some cuts, and I was one of them. And in 2023, it was about the late January 2023, and I thought, well, what do I want to do? Do I want to get back into the classroom? And I got a bunch of phone calls from really lacrosse coaches, field hockey coaches that said, you can't leave. Like, you've got to, they weren't going to let me leave. And they had some ideas. Hey, I've got this story. And I said, well, let me figure this out. Give me a couple weeks. And that's where Metro Sports St. Louis kind of was born. And I cover a lot of field hockey, lacrosse, and wrestling, but I also have the chance to cover a lot of other things. And soccer has been one of the things that I didn't get a chance to cover that much over the years, but I've started to cover it a lot more, and I have a great appreciation for the skill and the quality of play, and it's been a great experience so far. We're now on 3 years. It's the third year of MetroSportsStLouis.com. And this year alone, from January to April, we have more views and more visitors than we've had in either 2023 or 2024. So the momentum is there, and it's been a great experience so far.
Man, oh man. That was almost bringing a tear to me eye. Yeah. Oh, what an incredible road you've been on, man. Is that the story is that you you meet up with an obstacle, and you have to reevaluate, and there you go. You do this, you do that, and you're better than you were before you came up to the obstacle.
Yeah, that's part of it. Is that it was relatively new to me, the journalism portion of it, the photo taking portion of it, and I just didn't want to. I just wanted to get better. That's why I wanted to keep going as well. I just didn't think I was good enough yet, and I just wanted to keep practicing and keep doing what I was doing. And I really appreciate people like Joe Douglas from DeSmet Lacrosse, and Chris Luckett and Alfonso Brown, Kate Graft, these people who kind of contacted me and said, hey, we need you to keep going, and keep doing this. And I'm really appreciative that they did.
Right on. And just under full disclosure, ladies and gentlemen, when I see you at a location, I know I'm in the right one. Because you it's always the best.
I wish everybody thought that. There's a few coaches that see me. One coach calls me the Grim Reaper because every time I come to his game, they lose.
Man, that's almost like you got to wear a tie for that, man. The Green Reaper, baby. Oh yeah, that's a story. So, the whole idea behind newspapers, newspaper man, and all, the Paul Runyon, is that his name? The old newspaper guy.
Oh. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, all that. Now, you get into photojournalism. Would that be the right one?
Right, sure.
Yeah. And you always have that English language, just the words that you put together. It's whale certified. If I was wanting to be someone else that, or hope to be like, it would be your command of the English language, I want to say.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll sprinkle some Shakespeare on it.
Yeah, sometimes I use some references or some puns, and I read it to my wife, and she's like, I don't get it, or I don't, it's not funny. But I throw it in there anyway, just in case there's one person out there that's like,
yeah,
made me smile.
Yes, yeah, baby, yeah. And so that seems to be the 21st century way of telling the story, of feeling connected to the community.
Yeah, I like this because it's independent, right? It's just me. I write all the stories. I take all the photos. I go to the games that I want to go to, and there's no real deadline for me. I'm not gonna fire myself if I miss a deadline. So that's part of the. No one's gonna say, "Look, don't write that. Don't investigate that." I wrote an investigative story. It took me 4 weeks to investigate it. Like, I don't know if you have that time in like a legacy media kind of situation. So I think independent journalism, it's kind of the future. I think you're right. And it's, I'll cover a game. Let's say I cover a soccer game from 4 o'clock and I get home at 6:30. I still have time to play with. I've got 2 young kids. I still have time to play with my kids.
Nice.
I'll wait till they go to sleep to write my story, or I'll wait till they, I'll get them ready for school the next day, and then I'll write my story the next morning. No one's really coming up to me and saying, "Hey, get that story out faster." I kind of do it on my own time. It allows me a chance to really listen to the interviews. Try to understand the whole story. I know in deadlines, there were times that I'd cover a game for the Post, and after the game, you had 45 minutes to put your story together and send it out. And it was it really was a rough draft of what it was. And in this situation that I'm in, I feel like I have a better chance to write a longer, more in-depth piece than I would have had there been a deadline right there.
Right. To take a over the top, they call it a 12,000 foot view, but the technology allows you to do it.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I had, when I was a school teacher, I had started some school newspapers at different schools. And so I understood some of the, like, starting a newspaper website kind of stuff. So that helped me in putting together the website. I found a site called smugmug.com. All my photos from every game that I take are at benvessa.smugmug.com. I do have to give a shout out to Paul Belargin, who had a camera in his attic that he wasn't using and donated it to me. It was 10 times better than the camera I was using, and the photos are 10 times better than what they were before. And I know a good carpenter never blames his tools, but when I look at photos I took in 2023, I realized that I was not nearly as good a photographer as I am now, and I think the tool is a big portion of it. So thank you to Paul Belargin for that.
Yeah, way to go. And that is the inside wisdom that I've heard about podcasting, is that you're really only as good as your equipment.
Yeah. Yeah.
People's attention spans don't last too long. And so the upshot of the situation is that there you are. Please, I'm begging. You gotta get the inside story of how you got your logo.
Yeah, that was. I wish I had skill in that area. That's my wife. She made it just on her own, and she said, "Hey, you need a logo," and she went on Canva, and she said, "How about this?" And I
Your
said,
wife is
okay.
whale certified. Your wife is whale certified, man. Way to go, baby.
I know. I said, you know what? Someone asked me for a business card the other day, and I don't have any. And she went on, and before I knew it, she had a business card drawn up and said, "Hey, how about this for a design?" And so, yes, my wife is to credit for any of the design of things like the logo and the business cards.
Well, congratulations. It seemed like you married up, huh?
I did. She's a professor at the University of Missouri St. Louis. She's been we've moved a lot, and she was at Purdue. So I got a chance to work for the local newspaper in West Lafayette, Indiana, and I got a chance to cover some Purdue basketball and football. And let me tell you, covering college games so much easier than covering high school games. You know, the stats, they keep the stats for you on a program, and you just have to look at them. You don't have to keep them yourself. You don't have to chase a coach to the bus to interview them. They bring them to you in at a press conference. It's a pretty good gig to cover a college thing. Now, I will say that they also bring pizza into the media room, but you have to get there 2 hours early because the folks at the Big Ten Network, I love their work. I watch their network all the time. They are not very generous when it comes to leaving slices of pizza for the other media members. They are, and they've got camera people. They've got they just devour everything that's in there. So if you're covering a game in college, get there early is to try to get a slice of pizza in the media room.
I have a little inside story of show business. Is for like the Blues games. Yeah. Right? And for the Cardinals games, you're up in the press box, they have a whole... the Cardinals, they had a big steam table and so forth, and, they would make you stuff. But otherwise, it's on a table with peanuts and this and that. And I was there just to do player introductions with a follow spot, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The eyes in the back of my back, and just, oh my God, I dared not. When all the sports writers would look over, who is he? Where is he going? How many scoops is he taking? and somebody would, Usher, check his credentials. But man, that was the deal. And they always, in show business, you have a green room, and they say, feel free to get anything you want, but don't feed the stagehands.
That's right.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Oh man, and constant. I just retired, and so after 40 years, that they say, hey, do you ever eat at home? So that is when you mention those coaches, to me, what you're doing is off the charts. There was a guy named Ole. Were you ever able to run into him or hear stories? He was always on the sidelines taking pictures, and he sold the pictures, and he'd been around a long time. Is that the way you're a part of the game to elevate the game? I was very pleased that people saying, "Hey, Wales, thanks a lot for the shout out. Like what you do." I said, "Wow, it's just it seems like so natural, but there's not anybody doing it unless Ben Vesta does it." Yeah, and so all that. Do you feel like you are part of the event?
I try not to be. I try to be kind of off, where people don't notice me at all until after the game, where I just want to get their stories. I think in this day that it's important to hear the voices of young people. I think sometimes we're bombarded by the voices of adults, and I just want to get their perspective, their thoughts, and if I only talked to the coaches and I don't get a chance to talk to players, I don't feel good about my effort. I try to talk to at least 2 or 3 of the players. If I get some thoughts from the coaches, that's a cherry on top. But I just have to make sure that I chat with the players. I think some of the players realize who I am. They recognize me. I just covered a college lacrosse game on Sunday, and a few of those players remembered me from me covering them in high school.
Wow.
There's a lot of local players on there, and they said, "Oh yeah, I remember you coming to our games in high school." So, I mean, when I was a high school player, way back when, I would have loved somebody to come and talk to me after a game. That would have been really cool, or someone to take some photos, and I get to kind of scroll through them, and that would have been really good. So I hope that I'm doing a service. It's kind of why I do it, and it's the same with you, I think, and just trying to give back. I feel like high school athletics did a lot for me in terms of being able to handle adversity. What do you do when you get a bad call called against you? What do you do when it's just not your night and you're struggling out there? How do you handle pressure? Free throws in the last few seconds of the game, or at bat with the bases loaded in the last inning. Like, those are kind of things that you can't simulate in a classroom. And I think there's a real value to participating in athletics in high school, and I hope that I can add to that value in some little way.
Well said. Well done. You tapped. You're there in the iris of the circle of the number 8 infinity of the essence of what you do, and why you do it.
Yeah.
It's amazing, baby. Nice going. I knew you were a man of substance.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
So here you go. You have all that. Now, you got it. How do people get to connect with you to get what you got?
Yeah. The stories you can find on MetroSportsSTL.com. There's No matter what social media you have, I put any story that I do on X, formerly Twitter, Threads, Facebook, Blue Sky, whatever your preference is. Just type in MetroSportsSTL, and you can find it. The photos are all on. It's called Ben Vessa, Vessa, .smugmug.com, and every sport is there in games from 2023 to 2025. Photos are, it's a great birthday present. It's a great screensaver for your computer or background for your phone to try to take a photo, to grab a photo of yourself celebrating or playing your sport of choice. And yeah, hopefully I'm easy to find. In Google, just type in MetroSportsSTL, and you should be able to find all that.
Magnificent. It's worth the search, guarantee. Now, you have around 10 more minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have that. Are you thinking about expanding more on doing audio-visual interviews and so forth, or anything like that?
Yeah, I have thought about it. I do have a little bit of video background. One of my favorite things that I've done was really early. Chris Luckett and Alfonso Brown are the only two black lacrosse coaches in Missouri. And they contacted me and said they want to tell their story. And we did it on video. We did a kind of a video podcast, and it was a great interview about their experiences. And it was one of those things that after it's over, you say, you know what, I'd like to do more of these. You know, I'd like to really get to know people in a deeper way in terms of their passion for their sports, whether it's coaches, whether it's players or not. And I do think about that at times, but right now it's just kind of me. So I haven't kind of reached that spot yet, but I do think that expansion in a way like that is possible.
Yeah, how about that? Like that independent service, the collective way. I don't remember the word to use about everybody coming together. That all the independents come together and sell their milk. You would have an independent service that so many people, he or she, like you, would come together and say, hey, I got this, we got that. It's like a one-stop shop, like a market.
Right. Yeah, and I see the Gateway Sports Venue folks at games a lot. I love what they do. I think that enhances the experience. I love especially the short videos they put out there, and people, respond with the muscle emojis and the fire emojis, and I look at those all the time. I think anything we can do to kind of promote high school athletics in that way is really good.
Yeah, the individual schools with their X accounts are off the charts. I mean, you could spend a whole day and night watching them, yes. Following them.
Yeah, I know, and their graphics before games and after games, the final scores, and that really has grown exponentially over the
Yes.
last few years, for sure.
And they're not, Uncle Charlie and Aunt Harriet up in uh, the whatchamacallit, up in the attic doing this.
Right,
These are all students
right,
from
right,
freshman to senior.
right.
And then there's colleges that are offering sports information or something like that. Sports management, is that where
Yeah,
they do their all the stats and all to do for the college game.
right. Yeah. And when I was a teacher, I taught in both private school and public school. And in a private school that I taught in North Carolina, named Cardinal Gibbons High School, I was I was Twitter at that time. I was the Twitter teacher. So every athletic team, every club would send a kid to a class of mine, and it really was just 1 or 2 days after school. But I would kind of teach them what to do on Twitter, what not to do on Twitter, not to say that the other student section is terrible, those kind of things. And really, it was the students that were the ones who were operating the clubs and
Yeah.
the sports Twitter accounts, and I thought that was they're good. And some of them made mistakes, but it was nice that they had that opportunity to kind of figure that out on their own.
Right. Everybody can take this over to their family. All the, I'm 68 and, people say, damn, I wish I had the photograph or the video back then. And, well, now they can have it right at their fingertips for forever,
Right.
It would have been nice to see something about my grandparents or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll interview my Aunt Margaret. So, how about your children? Are they in middle school or anything?
Yeah, I've got one middle schooler. He's a sixth grader. I coach his sixth and seventh grade baseball team. We'll have, and I've got another little guy who's 7. He's got a birthday coming up on Friday, and both of them are sporty. They enjoy the competition. They enjoy being part of a team, and they're growing in their skills, and so it's been nice to kind of have this job for myself in that I can still spend a lot of time with them and then do what I need to do while they're at school or while they're asleep.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, man. I guess you had to spend the night putting up the bike together and so forth, and this and that. It's now the old man is they're making stories.
Yeah. No, I Grandma bought for my youngest's birthday, bought one of those easy assembly required things that has 400 parts to it. So that's what I did all day yesterday was try to put this thing together. So.
Right on, man. I mean, that's the life of a parent, And yeah, so it's a really a grand life, and you and your missus and family make it a whole lot nicer. It's really a nice little deal. So we're gonna close it up, and we have a custom here at Whale Certified to say, "Hey Ben, whatever you want to say to who you ever want to say it to, for as long as you want to say it for, this is your opportunity."
Yeah, well, I really have a lot of appreciation for the coaches, the players, those who allow me to come to their games, the athletic directors, um, and be a part of the athletic activities going on at their school, to allow me to get to know them a little bit, to get to know their teams, their players. It's been very rewarding for me, and I hope it is also rewarding for them.
Well, is there a suggestion of when they obtain a photograph from you and to put it in a certain type of portrait way of a frame and so forth? Where is it best? Is it over the mantle, or as you come into the foyer? What's the best place to hang your pictures?
When I worked at that Cardinal Gibbons school, we used to take the best photos from that the students had taken, put them in frames, and put them on the wall of the school. And so when people walked by, they were just reminded of, all the great things that were going on in the school. And I think that was a neat way to build school culture and that kind of thing. So put some photos up in your school if you don't have it.
Yeah, with the kids in kindergarten and stuff, make stuff and you put it on the ice box in the refrigerator and around the way. I'm looking at a couple right here with my granddaughter, Scarlett, is that now you if you get older, you have some pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. So keep an eye out and get your cell phones to get to some good photographs of what's going on. And if you, by all means, go to MetroSportsSTL to find out how to do it just a little bit better than your normal way of doing stuff. So here it is, Ben. It's coming up to that time, man. I mean, it's we gotta go. We don't have to go home, but can't stay here, man.
Well, I really appreciate you reaching out, Kevin. I this is my first podcast or radio hit, anything like that. It's the first time that I've done one of these, and I really appreciate you doing it. You are my first podcast. I am, as a guest, and I'm very appreciative that you reached out.
Right. Well, that puts the whole family, the Vessa family, in the Whale Certified Hall of Fame. Yeah, baby. You and the missus and the two boys, you're up and right in there.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So the best to you, man, and yours.
Thank you. Likewise.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Whale Certified, and think about it. You too can be Whale Certified if you try. Bye-bye.